welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Audrey Marie, and today I will be starting and reading the book Crush. It's part of the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. I just read the first book of the series and now I'm addicted to it, so I unfortunately don't even have the book with me at the moment. I plan on going to the bookstore with my roommate here in a bit to go get this book because I need it so I can continue, because the first one ended on such a massive cliffhanger. So I need the second book in the series just to continue it. I am gonna listen to it on audiobook until we go to the bookstore. So that is what's going on right now. The first book left off where Grace and Jackson was getting attacked by Hudson somehow. Even though we don't know what happened to him, they got attacked. Grace sacrificed herself to protect Jackson, and she got frozen in stone, it seems like. So that's what happened at the end of the first book. So it left on a massive cliffhanger because they didn't know what to do, because it's been thousands of years since they've seen something like this and they didn't know how to fix this issue. So this one starts off where she just comes out of it. Like, she just is acting like it's just any normal day, and she's like, oh, I gotta go to class. But then she doesn't remember exactly how she woke up this morning, what she had for breakfast, so she seems already just off center, off the bat, so she doesn't know what's happening, and everybody around her is like, oh my god, Grace. They're all stunned. Like, they're absolutely gobsmacked and shocked and speechless. They don't even know how to react to seeing her, and she has no clue what's going on. She doesn't know why everybody is acting in such a way, because she doesn't even remember being encased in stone or being stoned. She's just like, why is everybody acting this way? This is so strange. So luckily she gets taken off to go see her uncle and sees Jackson, and they kind of fill her in, and it turns out she's been in stone for about 4 months. 4 months straight she's been encased, she's been stoned. Now it's March instead of November. She's stunned, and then we come to find out she's a gargoyle. What? That's what she was? And so we come to find that out. There's still the problem with not knowing what happened to Hudson, because as soon as he attacked her and Jackson, he just disappeared, and then she was just stoned. So we still don't know what's going on in there. She's trying to get back to her normal schedule. Like, Jackson and her uncle have been distraught over this and have literally had professionals come to see her and try to figure out what's going on. She's having some form of amnesia where she doesn't remember anything after Hudson attacking her. I'm intrigued as to where this is going. So I'm gonna keep listening to the audiobook because I'm loving this series as a whole so far, and I'm only on the second book, but I'm enjoying it. I'm obsessed with the characters. I'm currently in the middle of where Macy's showing Grace a photo of her while she was stoned. So she's finding out she had like horns and everything, and she's coming to terms that she was a gargoyle, and like, there's proof that she was actually stoned, and she has like something telling her that she's forgetting something really important. So I feel like she might have been dealing with Hudson the entire time. That's what everybody else is guessing, is that she only came out of being in stone because there's no more threat. But I feel like something is still off there. But I'm excited to still continue the series. I'm gonna keep reading. Me and my roommate are gonna go to Books A Million here in a bit to get this book. So I hope y'all are having a great day. Come along for this ride if you're interested. Give you an update of what we got from Books A Million. My goal was just to get the second book, maybe even the third book. I needed to be able to start the next book just in case there was another cliffhanger. But the last time we were at Books A Million, we saw they had a massive collection of all the Crave series. So I knew there was a high possibility that there's going to be the entire series there. Unfortunately, Books A Million did not have the book I went in for. They did not have Crush. For the foreseeable future, I will be listening to Crush on audiobook because through Libby, my library does have access. That's what I've been listening to, so I'll be continuing that. So it's gonna be a little bit different in this reading blog because normally I like having the physical copies of the books that I'm reading. So I'm just gonna be listening to it on audiobook until the second book comes in the mail because I did order it online in Books A Million from Amazon. It's on its way. It should be showing up by Sunday. The second one is on its way through Amazon. I don't have it with me currently, sadly, but while we were at Books A Million, they did have the rest of the series there. So I picked them all up. I'm excited that I have the entire series now, so if a cliffhanger happens, I can just jump into the next book, and I know that my library carries the audiobooks of these, so I'm not gonna have the issue of not being able to listen to them if I want to. And they're all hardback book too. I even ordered a hardback version of the second one through Amazon, so they all match. This one was the only hardback version I could find there. They had 2 other paperback versions for sale, but they were beaten up really badly. Like this one still has like a couple dings on the dust jacket, but I'm glad to say I at least got them all to match. Yes, I would have been okay if one of them would have been a paperback. It would have bugged me in the future if just 1 or 2 of them would have been paperback, so I'm glad to say I got them all in hardback and they all match. If people keep picking up the Crave series from fall in love with the world, the characters like I have, those books would disappear really quickly. I debated on just getting 3 and 4 while we were there, but you can't beat the price of $8 to $7, a hardback book version. Normally these run about 20 bucks, so it was like 50% off on all of these. Even the one on Amazon. The second book of the series from Amazon is a little bit more pricier, but I want to have the book. I want to have the entire series. I'm still at the same spot of the second book from earlier, so I haven't got any further than where I was because I went book shopping. I was hanging out with my roommate watching TV. I've been editing my Crave video. I also worked on the thumbnail, so I have the entire Crave video ready to go. So I will keep you updated. I'm gonna hop into the shower and then pop in my earbuds and listen to the book for a little bit before I head off to bed. So as I've been reading Crush or listening to Crush on audio, it's about 8 p.m. on Wednesday. I've been listening to Crush when I'm walking to class, when I have some time to spare so I can focus on the story, and oh my god, I am loving this book so much. Hudson has shown up into Grace's mind, so we're hearing Hudson constantly bickering with Grace and they're constantly going back and forth. It's kind of a lot in the audiobook because it's jumping in the middle of one conversation to another one because no one can hear what Hudson's saying, but they hear Grace, or Grace tunes out for a minute like talking to Hudson with her mind so she's not saying stuff aloud. But then sometimes she's having a conversation with one person and then she wants to go have a conversation with Hudson because he won't shut up. So she says something out loud and the people who don't see Hudson are like, "You good, Grace? Like, what is going on?" So I'm enjoying this so much. It's interesting seeing how everybody else saw Hudson when he was like alive, and then Hudson coming in, acting completely different and kind of twisting what Grace originally thought of Hudson based on what everybody else was saying. So it's very interesting to see how people perceive you, but in actuality how someone acts or what their thoughts are, because it seems like Jackson and Hudson's dad was doing something to start the war and then somehow it got thrown on to Hudson. I'm not 100% sure there because Hudson sometimes says something just like randomly and you're like, huh? I thought it was different. So it's very interesting to see how different people get perceived because nobody knows the real you, only you do. They're getting ready for this school game, this tournament, so they can get one of the magical items or artifacts to turn Hudson human, to get him out of Grace's mind. So they're working on going after these magical artifacts. I'm glad Grace and Flint's friendship is not ruined because of him trying to kill her, and they're being better friends. And then Jackson and Flint can be friends again, it seems like, because they're all trying to be on a team with one another for this competition. All the different supernaturals are teaming up to be able to get Hudson out of Grace's mind and have him turn into a human. It's finally feeling so heartwarming that they're all teaming up with one another, working all together for Grace's common good. And I'm glad to see Grace is starting to come to terms that California is not really her home no more. It's good to see Grace feeling more comfortable in Alaska and actually understanding that this is her home and trying to get into some normalcy after everything that's happened to her. The second book is supposed to be showing up later this weekend, but I'm still listening to the audiobook of it. I just want to keep listening to it, continue in the story, continue in this world. I'm having so much fun with it. I forgot to add earlier. So where I left off in the audiobook, Hudson and Grace were dancing around the laundry room, and Grace asks, "How do you know this is my favorite song?" And Hudson like steps back and is like, "Do you really not remember everything?" There's definitely something between them while they were in stone. I called it whenever I started this audiobook. There's something there. I stopped the audiobook as soon as that happened just so I could talk to y'all about it. I want to know what happened between the two of them so badly. I have a feeling that it might take some time for the truth between the two of them to come out. And it's not just going to be where I'm at the moment. I feel like he's going to clam up and stop talking. But that is just my little blurb as to what's been going on, because I forgot to mention that whenever I was talking earlier. So it's Thursday, and I'm about 65% through the audiobook of Crush already, and I am loving every moment of it. They are on their mission to get the magical artifact item, and they completed the Ludarius competition, and they won. It was a very suspenseful moment because you didn't know if they were winning or if they were losing, if they would get the bloodstone. She got called upon by Hudson and Jackson's parents to come up to the front of like the auditorium. That was a suspenseful moment, and I'm glad she did not go talk to them one-on-one without being in like a crowded environment. I'm glad Hudson pulled her away from the front row of the auditorium during that, because that would have ended badly, and I'm so glad that he was able to get her not to sit up front with Macy. They are going into the Dragon Bone Graveyard, I believe. Dragon Bone Graveyard, one of the two. So they're dealing with that. They're just entering it, literally slammed into a wall, and Macy used her power to open up the wall that everybody else besides all the dragons were able to go through. I'm making plenty of progress in this book. I've got maybe like 6 hours left of the audiobook. I hate that I'm not able to physically read this book and show it in this video. The book should be coming in on Sunday, so hopefully I can have it in this video by the end so I can physically hold it, because it's so strange recording without the physical book anywhere near me. It is 9:45 at night, same night, and I have about an hour and a half left of my audiobook. I finished my one assignment that's due tomorrow before this weekend, but all I've been doing since then is listening to the audiobook, and lots has happened. They got the bone they needed from the Dragon Boneyard. They did that with very little issues. Nobody died. Hudson and Jackson's father made the comment that they were gonna take Grace to London with them, which neither one of the boys wanted their parents to take Grace to London, because that would mean they would literally lock her up, because they killed all the gargoyles before and they would probably just do it again. She challenged the council or the circle to be part of the circle because she's the first one to be born in 1,000 years or so. So she and Jackson went to enter that, but they still needed to go get the stone heart from the unkillable monster, which they come to find out is another gargoyle, a really strong gargoyle. But during this process, Xavier died. He was the only werewolf that was actually cool in this entire book. Xavier died right before Grace figured out that it was a gargoyle who was talking in her mind and everything, thanks to the help of Hudson. So they should have listened to Hudson whenever they were trying to make a plan as to what they were going to be doing regarding their trip to take out the unkillable monster to get the stone heart. They should have listened to him, or Xavier would have been alive. And then also Jackson and the group should have listened to Grace whenever she said it was a bad idea and something was just not right. She didn't want to do it, but none of them wanted to listen to her. I'm really sad about that. He didn't deserve to die in this story. He was even protecting Macy. I'm glad Macy's alive in the story because that's Grace's cousin, and I don't think she could put up with the death of another family member. So Xavier really jumped in to save Macy from that death instead. And when they came back from their trip, Cole popped out of nowhere. In one of the chapters at the end of Crave, it showed his trip to the Bloodletter to talk to her about destroying the mating bond between him and Grace. Well, he ripped it up and threw it in the trash and he didn't think nothing of it. Well, Cole got it and used it on Jackson and Grace. So instead of the two of them going into this brutal challenge they were gonna go into as a mated couple, because that's the only other person that could do this with her, can't no more. Cole wanted to destroy everything that Jackson and Grace had between one another with the mating bond. So he destroyed that. I was so mad at Cole. Cole has no redeeming factors of him. If somehow, through this entire book series, Cole somehow redeems himself, I'm gonna be surprised. So now it's only Grace going into the battle by herself. She happened to bring all 4 magical items she needed to get Hudson out of her. She brought them with her when they went to go get the stone heart. So when she was walking to the arena for her challenge, she decided to do it right then and there. Even though Hudson was saying, no, don't do it now, that you don't need to worry about this at the moment, she decided to do it then and there just in case she died in this challenge, because there was the possibility. So she did that thinking of him, so he came out, but in the process of that, he gave her his powers. Something definitely happened while she was stone in the 4 months they were together. They got really close, I feel like, but she's just having amnesia still about it. I want to know everything that happened in that time frame, because Jackson has memories of Grace's that she doesn't really tell anybody, and they are her fondest memories. And only Hudson knows about these memories because he was in her mind. And then also Grace painted Hudson's lair, and she only knows that because of them being connected while she was stone. I knew that freaking piece of paper was gonna bite Jackson in the butt, and of course it did. Of course Cole had to ruin everything. So right now, where I'm at with an hour and a half-ish left is where she's in the challenge. Cole almost killed her by completely strangling her. I'm glad she nailed him in the crotch, and she's putting up a good fight in this. I'm really enjoying how this challenge also goes back on what she learned previously in this book about like the challenge, but that was like a watered down version of what this is, because she has the possibility to actually die in this challenge, while in the school Ludaris challenge everybody's powers and whatnot were dampened just so no one got injured too badly. But in this, Grace could literally die. The other 8 challengers she's been playing against can't die because they're students, so they put some magic on them where they can't die, and if they get really super injured, they disappear and get sent to the infirmary. There is a magical boundaries keeping anybody who wants to help her out. So when she was getting strangled by Cole, Jackson was like literally shaking the earth, but it was not affecting anywhere of the arena where she was at. Macy was wanting to help her, screaming, trying to do something, and Hudson was staring at her and trying to, it seemed like he was able to still communicate with her through her mind, but he's immortal since he left all his powers to her. So how's he gonna get his powers back? That's my question. How is he gonna do that? When's he gonna do that? And how is his parents finding out that he's alive again? How's that gonna work? And everybody else finding out that he's alive again? Or is he gonna leave his powers with Grace for this foreseeable future? I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I want to get this hour and a half out of here so I can keep going with this book and the series, because I have a feeling it's going to get left on another cliffhanger. So I'm going to have to go into the next book. I'm excited to keep going. I will finish this book by tonight. I will hunker down in bed and finish it. I'm hoping another wolf takes over for Cole at some point. I was hoping Xavier was gonna end up doing that. I'm sad that he's no longer in the story. I really enjoyed him. He was pretty funny and he cracked jokes. His death kind of hit me even though he wasn't around for all that long, but all of them were willing to put their lives on the line for the journey to get all these magical items that they talked about, to get Hudson out of Grace's mind. They were all on the same journey together, and then they were ready to die for it. So I'm gonna keep reading, or I'm gonna keep listening so I can finish it because I'm excited and I want to see what happens. I just finished Crush. Oh my god. I had a feeling from the very beginning that Hudson was gonna end up as Grace's other mate. I just never said it out loud because I didn't want to feel insane. This might be one of my new favorite series of all time, just based on how much I am obsessed with these characters. I'm loving every single second of this. I literally shot up out of bed based on the ending of that book. I was so heartbroken whenever Grace got bitten by Cyrus. I'm so happy she won the tournament game to be part of the circle. But whenever she bit her, my heart was breaking so much. And the way Hudson just picked her up, I'm so glad she just trusted him. Whatever he did worked. I don't know how something like that works, but I'm so glad it worked. I still want her to remember what happened when she was a gargoyle for those 4 months. She needs to know. I need to know what happened between her and Hudson during that, because I'm loving this series so much. You don't understand. I am obsessed. I already pulled out the next one in the series, so I can start listening and reading it already, but I will give you more of an update tomorrow morning based on my thoughts on Crush. But right now it is midnight and I want to start this next book just to be able to see what's going on. Okay, I finished Crush last night and I cannot with this book. I was seriously heartbroken when Jackson and Grace's mating bond got broken by Cole, but they were having a lot of issues. He was not listening to her. He always downplayed her accomplishments, always thought she was weaker than what she actually was, and it was honestly kind of annoying. Their banter was good, but it was kind of annoying him constantly thinking she was just human and not getting past that fact. It was a little frustrating. I didn't love the two of them together, but I did like the two of them together. I wonder if Hudson became Grace's other mate when he picked her up off the arena, or if it happened when she was in stone. I wonder if that was the possibility, like she had two mating bonds at the exact same time. I'm curious as to when the mating bond snapped into place for the two of them. It was just funny, the constant back and forth, the entire book where Hudson was gagging whenever she would kiss Jackson. There's definitely something there between Hudson and Grace when they were in stone. So I still want to figure out what the heck went on whenever she was in stone. I hope she gets back that, because Hudson acts like so much happened and he's really sad that she doesn't remember. So I'm hoping she gets those memories back at some point. Because of how that book ended, I already went into the next book in the series. Like, as soon as I finished that audiobook, I found the other audiobook of the third one and pulled out my book and started reading it last night. So I'm already like 6 pages in to the next book. But I am loving the series. I know it was a popular book when it like first came out, but I haven't heard anybody talk about this series. So I wish more people would get into the series. I'm gonna finish this series probably by the end of the month. I did enjoy Crush more than I did love Crave though, because I loved having Hudson being around and his banter with Grace was just never ending and it was constantly so fun. It was great. But I hope y'all are having an amazing day. Thank y'all for watching this video and coming along for the ride and listening to all my thoughts on Crush. If you want to check out any more of my videos, go right ahead. I really appreciate y'all watching. Thank you so much. Bye.